Am I the jerk for punishing my mom because my stepdad was rude to my boyfriend? My partner, who is 28 years old, and I, also 28 years old, have been together for just over a year, and it is a great relationship. My mother invited us to dinner one night for the first time, which we accepted. It was just a casual weekday meal. When we got there, my mother was nice, showed him around her garden, her favorite place, and introduced him to the family pets. My stepfather barely said hello to us before going to have a shower and then getting dressed into his pajamas. This is his usual routine because he works with fuel and is often smelly and oily when he comes home. But I purposely came around at least an hour after they had gotten home so he could clean himself up. I helped my mother in the kitchen with dinner, so my partner went into the living room to chat with my stepfather. I went in to check how it was going after about 15 minutes and found my stepfather on his phone, completely ignoring my partner, who just sat there awkwardly. During dinner, my stepfather was so rude. He ate his entire dinner in less than 5 minutes, then started clearing away the table before we had barely started. My mother was trying to have a conversation with us, but every few minutes my stepfather would take a plate or bowl anyway, saying, "Anyone want this, or it's going in the bin?" Once he had filled the dishwasher, he left to go into the living room again without a word. Dinner lasted approximately 15 minutes with all my stepfather's rushing, so we decided to go into the living room to chat for a bit. My mother was trying to talk with me and my partner, but my stepfather was sitting on his phone playing videos out loud. After about 10 minutes, I gave up and said we had to go because my partner's shift at work was starting soon. I apologized to my partner on the way home. I was so embarrassed. My partner said it was fine, but honestly I was mortified, especially since his parents have always been so warm and lovely toward me. I messaged my sister, who is 30 years old, giving a rundown of what happened. She said she had talked to our mother, and our mother thought it had gone well. I asked if I should talk to my stepfather or our mother about his behavior, but my sister said there's no point, as we know that's just who he is. I said that I won't be taking my partner around there ever again if my stepfather is there because I'm not dealing with that again. My sister is calling me inconsiderate for punishing our mother because of my stepfather's behavior. I do not expect them to roll out the red carpet for my partner, but some common decency would be nice. It is not fair to me or my partner to have to be treated like that. Setting boundaries around family is healthy, and you shouldn't feel bad or guilty about any of it. Inviting just your mom for future dinners might give her a relaxing evening where she can get to know your partner without the stress of her husband's behavior. Her response could have been, "I'll talk to him," but if she can't do that, it's a red flag. You have someone important to you, and they should make them feel important too. Am I the jerk for telling my sister-in-law that her side hustle makes her a bad person? My brother, a 33-year-old male, and his wife, a 30-year-old female, have 2 young boys, ages 3 and 1. My wife and I have a 5-year-old son, so over the years we have given them quite a few items that we no longer used or needed. These items included a crib, clothes, and toys. Most of the things were just taking up space in our house, and we knew they would put them to use, so we had no problem giving them away. We visited them a couple weeks ago for their 3-year-old's birthday party. During the party, my sister-in-law mentioned that she has been selling off a bunch of baby stuff as a side hustle. Both she and my brother are the youngest of their families, and she said that they get so many hand-me-downs from their siblings that they could not keep track of them all. Her solution was to start selling these gifts online to make a few extra dollars. She was essentially bragging about it. I told her that it is a pretty inconsiderate thing to do, considering that these items were given to them as gifts that they willingly accepted and were expected to use. I asked her if they had sold some of the things we have given them, and she laughed and said that she was sure she did because we had given them a lot of stuff. I told her that if I had known she was going to sell those items off, I would have given them away to someone else or donated them to a local nonprofit that helps young mothers in need. She got defensive and told me that it is not like she is making a lot of money off these things, just a few dollars here and there. I told her that the people buying those items are probably the same people who would benefit from getting them for free, and that she is taking advantage of them. She went on about how hard things are with the economy right now, and how they need all the help they can get financially. Both she and my brother have college degrees and work full-time. I know raising kids is expensive, but they are not in dire straits. I told her that she probably should not expect us to give them anything else in the future, and I would probably suggest to my other siblings that they refrain from doing so as well and look into other options for donating things. She got defensive again and told me that she does not feel like she is doing anything wrong. I told her she is entitled to feel that way, but my opinion of her as a person is now lesser because of this. She said that selling things they do not use to make a few dollars does not make her a bad person, and I told her that considering they were given these things for free, it kind of does. By this point, other people had noticed our conversation, and my brother stepped in to end the conversation before things got too heated. He told me I should mind my own business and that if I do not want to give them anything else in the future, that is my choice. However, he said that I took this too far by calling his wife a bad person for selling things they do not use. Selling hand-me-downs online to make a few extra bucks seems pretty reasonable. Tons of people resell used items at garage sales or on various apps, and it's a perfectly normal thing to do. After giving away items, it's really up to the recipient to decide what to do with them. Criticizing someone for making a minimal profit off surplus items they received is just unwarranted. Am I the jerk for excluding my mom's stepdaughter from my baby shower? I will be referring to the stepdaughter as Mary. I say stepdaughter in quotes because my mom and her fiancé are not married and have no plans of marrying each other anytime soon. Anyway, I'm having a baby shower for my second child. My mom and I were discussing RSVPs, and she said, "I will be there and so will my fiancé and Mary." I reminded her it was just girls who will be there, and she said she forgot, but that it will be her and Mary. I explained to her that I want her to be there for sure, but unfortunately, Mary is going to have to stay with her father. My mom asked if it was a kid-free baby shower and if my 4-year-old daughter will be there. I said yes, she will be there. I explained to her that Mary has been mean to my daughter in the past. Every single time Mary is around my daughter, she is snatching from her, pushing her, and just being mean. They are the same age, but Mary is clearly not being disciplined at home, and I do not want to worry about whether or not my daughter is being bullied at the baby shower. My mom said Mary is 4 years old and does not know any better. I said she should know better. My 4-year-old does not go around pushing and being mean to children all of the time, and if she does, that behavior is corrected and stops. My mom took offense to this. I tried to keep the conversation short and said Mary is not allowed to come. I think I am being reasonable, but my mom says that I am being unreasonable and unwelcoming to family. She says she will keep an eye on Mary to make sure it does not happen, but I do not even allow my mom to have my daughter alone since she lives with Mary and her fiancé. There have been times where I have seen Mary shove my daughter into the pool, once into a ball pit, and just randomly snatching toys from her and being mean. My mom does not do anything until I say something myself, then says how Mary does not know any better. My mom says she wants to bring Mary regardless, or she might just have to send a present to my home and not come. I have friends and family siding with me, saying I am being reasonable for not wanting to have to stress about Mary interacting with my daughter at the shower, but family who are siding with my mom and saying I should just invite Mary so my mom can come to the shower. They have also said I can just keep Mary and my daughter separate. Am I the asshole? It's unfortunate that your mom feels she can't attend the shower if Mary doesn't get to come too, but you are right on this issue and should stick to your principles. You've set an acceptable boundary. You will not allow a feral child to attend a party you are throwing because she makes your child uncomfortable. Given what you've written, it's clear your mother can't control Mary, and you don't need to spend the entire shower watching out for your daughter instead of enjoying the party. Nobody should have to tolerate being the target of a bully, so protecting your child is never a bad thing. Am I the jerk for meal prepping? My mother, who is 60 years old, keeps getting rid of food that I buy or cook because she hates having food in the fridge. It is driving me crazy, and I'm starting to think I am losing my mind. I started meal prepping a few years ago and will often keep up to a week of fresh-made meals in the fridge. As I go to the gym, my meals will often consist of a lot of healthy proteins, carbohydrates, and a form of vegetables. This means that there is often a lot of cooked meats, carbohydrates such as pasta or rice, and fresh vegetables, as I love making a salad to go with my meals or as a snack. I also prioritize healthy snacking, so I only keep easy, fresh snacks in the house, such as fruit. My mother tends to make all her meals fresh and will make enough for the day. The only food she will leave in the fridge is random leftovers that were not cooked. For example, you would find a few tablespoons of chopped tomatoes, some cooked spinach and butter, and nothing else. My mother will often expect me to be able to make a meal out of this, which is why I buy and cook more food, so that days like this do not happen. I hate having to buy my ingredients every time I cook, as I have to plan my meals that way too. As a student and now a working professional, meal prepping really works for me. It eliminates so much time from my day, and it helps me keep my meals healthy, as I avoid buying fast food out of laziness. Now, where the issue comes in, I recently moved back home and have continued meal prepping. Far too many times to count, I will come home to all of my meals from that day having been eaten, given away, or thrown away. When I ask my mother about it, she says that she cannot stand having food in the fridge, so she eats it all to get rid of it. I have asked her many times to stop doing this, as I make enough food to last a week, which can get expensive as this could be up to 15 pounds worth of protein a week. She also keeps complaining about gaining weight, but does not seem to understand that eating thousands of calories to have an empty fridge is not helping. I argued that the purpose of the fridge is to be able to keep food for longer periods of time, not to stay empty and only hold random food items. Now that I'm an adult, I realize how many of our habits are just so unhealthy. In my teenage years, I used to be nauseous all the time, especially when I woke up, only to realize that it was because I was not eating enough at all. When I would eat, it would be odd items that I would find in the fridge. I thought the nausea was normal for me, but only as I have started eating regularly have I noticed that this way of life is not normal. Now, whenever I buy food in advance to make for the week, she argues with me about buying food and complains so much that it is literally driving me crazy. Am I the antagonist for buying food and meal prepping all the time? Should I stop buying and cooking food? Is there an issue that I am not recognizing, or am I being inconsiderate of my mother's point of view? You have done nothing wrong. This is wild behavior from your mom. She seems to have a really unhealthy relationship with food. Perhaps getting a mini fridge for your room and storing your meal prepped food there would help prevent it from being thrown away. It sucks to have to do that, but if she won't stop, moving out might be the only solution. Am I the jerk for asking to live with the parent who cheated? My parents are getting a divorce because my mother found texts from a coworker on my father's phone that were extremely raunchy. She confronted him and found out he is having an affair with her. She has been dragging it out for a while because she wants to make it as painful as possible. I am pretty angry at him about it because it was an awful thing to do to our mother, but then things got a lot more complicated and I feel like I do not have any good options. My mother found out one of my friends is transgender. She freaked out and told me I could not see him. She thought he was sick and kept calling him she. She got upset when I corrected her and said something about all the woke alphabet weirdos. I finally told my mother I am gay because I thought she would understand more if she knew. She got even angrier, flipped out, and kept saying I'm just confused and brainwashed by wokeness. She made me really uncomfortable, so I called my father, and he came and got me and took me to his flat. My mother kind of apologized, but not really because she is talking about fixing this. She wants me to talk to a pastor because she joined a church a couple of years ago that is not Hillsong, but is a lot like Hillsong. My father says that is conversion therapy, and he is really angry about it. My father moved in with the coworker he slept with and asked if I wanted to go with him. I said yes. She is really nice to me and says there is nothing wrong with being gay. I know I am supposed to hate her because she slept with a married man, but I kind of like her because she is really nice to me. Now we are supposed to decide who we want to live with, and I said I wanted to live with my father. I am angry at my father, but my mother does not accept me for being gay, and it is really toxic around her. I really do not want to live with her. My brother says I am being disloyal to our mother and that I should be cutting my father off. He has also started to say the same stuff about being gay that my mother says, so I kind of do not want to live with either of them. My mother called me last night and she was crying and said she wanted me back. I asked if she was okay with me being gay, and she went back to saying I was confused, so I hung up. Am I the asshole? You handled things appropriately. That's an impossible situation to be in. At this point, both your parents have messed up, but your mom wants you to go to conversion therapy, so stay away from her for sure. Do what makes you feel safe, not what makes your mom happy. Good luck and sorry you're dealing with this. Am I the jerk for not telling my friend about my secret marriage? Aita for not telling my friend I was getting married in secret? Lynn is a girl I am in an adult ballet class with, and we get along very well. I would say she is a good friend, but we often do not see or hear from each other for bouts of time since we have different lives outside of the class, and it sometimes just is not easy. Nevertheless, we are very open, and I consider her quite a close friend. In June, Lynn got into a car incident and moved temporarily back to her parents' house. When I first heard about it, I immediately texted her and asked if I could do anything, and she told me it was very hard for her to text with the injuries. Over the course of the summer, I did not hear from her nor contact her, considering she was too far away for me to be able to help, and that she had told me it was hard to text. Additionally, I was going through a lot of turmoil at my job and career changes and did not want to bother her with this. I also had a long business trip during which I was often without data or Wi-Fi. I was quite miserable there as well, due to it being the last few weeks at my job that was exploiting me. Then I went on my own holiday and went offline most of the time. At the end of it, I had planned a secret wedding ceremony with 4 friends. This is something that I did with my husband because we did not want the stress and expectations of a real wedding, but just wanted a private night celebrating our love. We planned to host a party the following year without the classic reception and ceremony, so there would be less stress and less hassle. Very us. No one knew about this except the 4 people who were with us, not even my family. We did, however, take pictures because it was a beautiful day, and we decided to share them on social media afterward because we were proud and wanted to tell people that we had the ceremony. We just did not want prying eyes. It also served as a good prompt to tell people that there would be a party next year and that they were invited. Before these got posted, I texted Lynn the day I arrived back home from holiday. I asked if she had recovered, told her I had a chaotic summer and was sorry I had not found time earlier to check in, and asked if it was possible to meet up in any capacity. This was August 20. She did not reply. On August 27th, I posted my pictures on Facebook and Lynn texted me saying, "You got married?" I replied, "Yes, it was very fun. But more importantly, next year there is a party and you have to be there." She did not reply. Today I asked her again how she was and if she could meet up. I then received a 5-minute voice note telling me it was outrageous that I went no contact and that she had to find out about the wedding via Instagram. She said she expects friends to check in with each other and that I should have informed her. You are not the cause of this issue for wanting to keep the elopement private, but a quick explanation would have gone a long way. It's understandable that a friend might feel dropped, especially if they were injured and had plenty of time to dwell on the lack of communication. A few phone calls and texts could have helped maintain the connection. Hopefully, the celebration for friends and family can help mend things, but it's also fair to respect if they choose to remain distant. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.